Welcome to S&T Chats, where I bring you crazy, crazy news from Douyin.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep, don't forget. I am bringing you two news from China, and both of these news are from very, very well-known, very educated men.
Okay.
All right, who
Highly respected.
Highly respected men, right? So, what did the said men say? Good question. Let me show you right now.
First of all, I'm not a feminist, okay?
We're not feminists.
We're not feminists.
But the news in China in regards to the men and women inequality is just outrageous. First news is in a seminar held in China by the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies. So it's a seminar. So there's a speaker, and then there's a lot of people at top in their respective fields coming in the seminar, right? So this seminar touches upon a whole lot of different topics, but one of the topics that was brought up was birth rates, right? So in this seminar, the speaker is like, oh, our birth rate is actually up 3.5%, which is good for our economy, which is good for our government, which is good for our country. And then there's a Mr. Wong that came out and asked a question. What question did he ask? He asked, listening to you talk, how do we get our women to be obedient and give birth to kids? So the Chinese word that he actually used is 老老实实,服服帖帖, which basically means a woman who is obedient and will not fight back and will listen to your every word. Is what he's calling.
And he's asking the speaker.
He's asking the speaker.
Are these speakers from China or they're from other countries?
This specific speaker is not from China. I don't know what his English name is, but the Chinese translation is Ye Lan Kaling. And then the speaker replied, it's like, we don't force our women to have kids.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Why would you ask a question?
I know, right?
Like, if you think you have to make your wife obedient to have a child for you, that is already a big problem, like a red flag. Like, why do you have to do that? Like, if you treat your wife nice, if you respect her, and if you take care of her, I'm pretty sure if you're married, you guys, like, she'll
will naturally want kids.
Yeah, and she'll want a family with you. I mean, I'm a woman, right? Most women, would want to have a child. Like, it's one of the most miracle things that can happen with our bodies. Yeah. So it's like, why does he need to ask this question?
I know, right? He doesn't even think that way. That's why he's asking that question.
He obviously doesn't think that way.
Yeah.
Like, he thinks there's no problem with him. Like, he needs some forceful way, like, how do I make
the woman listen to me? It's not my problem. I'm well educated. Men are superior. That's why women should listen to us.
I guess he's not really treating his wife. He's not giving respect. Like, that's if he respected her, I don't think he would ask such a question.
Right, or like just in general, if you respect a woman in general, then they will fall in love with you. They see all of your pros and cons, but they love you either way, and they're willing to have a family with you.
Yeah, he should respect her and not like force her to have a kid for her.
Exactly.
For him, like, respect each other. That's so important in a relationship or in any kind of relationship. He's weird.
He's weird. Yeah, so this blew up in China. Everybody was like, oh, we have to be obedient. Obedient. Oh, no, thank you.
No, I think it's just funny that it's coming out from a professor's mouth. Like, he has such a high education, scholarship, and he is asking in such a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
How did he have the face to ask that?
He probably doesn't have that face to ask. That's why he asked, right? So another news that I want to bring to you is that another well-respected professor, male, he had a recommendation saying if women do not give birth, then we're gonna adjust their retirement. So this blew up also.
But then does it only apply to women?
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect the men?
It doesn't affect the men.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
I know, right?
Okay, well, because it can only apply to the women, kind of, right?
Yeah. Just the woman's retirement funds.
And they don't have it much to begin with, right? I don't know how the Chinese.
Yeah, I don't know either, but still, it's like, isn't this like a tangle? Like it has to be applied to both men and women, right?
Yeah.
So why is this only on the woman? Like why should the woman bear all of the burden for this?
Well, I think from his perspective, he just thinks that the women are not obedient in giving kids. He's like trying to set up this method, a plan, so that women will be obedient and have kids.
Yeah. Okay. So do keep in mind that this is just a recommendation.
Okay.
It hasn't set in stone yet, but even if it hasn't set in stone, this also garnered a lot of attention online.
I think it's just ridiculous that such an idea popped up in his head.
Yeah, exactly, right? So this netizen basically says, this is the first time someone took something that I don't have and threatened me with it. It is hilarious, but it's also so frustrating at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like they have to, this is kind of like a micro-government. I wonder why they have to micro-government the Chinese people.
Because they like the power. They want to be in charge of everything.
Like every single thing.
Everything. They want to take charge of your life. They want to take charge of your baby's life.
That's so creepy. I can't imagine living in a society like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's what communist is.
Yeah, I know, right? So in regards to the Chinese government, besides the two very smart men making two very dumb comments and questions, a lot of women are not really into having kids or getting married is because there's a lot of laws that is on the men's side instead of the women's. So for instance, there's the Childless law. Yeah, they made it into law.
Wow.
It was a culture before, but now it's just straight out law.
Wow, I didn't know that. When did they change it to a law? I always thought it was a culture thing.
It was a culture thing, but not anymore.
It's a law.
Yeah. Okay, so normally in Chinese culture, I think this also happens in a lot of different countries in Asia also though. When you want to marry a woman, you basically give the woman's family a dowry, right? And then in exchange, that's basically the bride price, right? So you give that money and then the woman marries into your family and then that's your woman right now, right? But now before at least it was I love this woman and I'm gonna give her X amount of money because I love her so much, right? But now that's different, right? So this dowry is not required of men, and if you are to give the woman's family the money, then in any cases you can only give either 3,000 or 6,000
yuan, right?
Yeah.
So before, like out of culture or out of love, the male would give this woman this amount of money.
Yeah.
But now it's
You're
the
not
law
required.
is you are not required to give, and you have a limit of how much you can give.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. And then not only that, there's a law that says if you are to get divorced, then that money is refundable.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I never knew that either. It doesn't make sense though. Because if you think about it, right? Let's say I married someone at 24 years old, right? And then I gave you 100K. Right? And then I feel like we're not together all the time. I don't feel happy with her. And then I divorce her at 31, let's say. Right? And then that 10K is still refundable. But the woman's years have already flown by.
Well, years, nothing can buy time.
Yeah, exactly.
That just makes me think like women is a product.
Yeah.
Like scan, check out, pay.
I know.
Oh,
I don't
sorry.
like it.
Let me refund this. Like unlimited refund time. That is so disrespectful.
It's so messed up.
That is so messed up.
Yeah.
But there's a imbalance of population between men and women though in China. So like there's gonna be less and less people getting married then.
Yeah.
Because women are strong these days. They have a mind of their own.
Yeah.
Like then I won't get married.
Yeah.
No?
That's why the guy, the very, very smart guy was like, oh, if women they don't give birth, then we're gonna adjust. We're gonna adjust their retirement funds. Yeah, they're basically threatening us.
This is the only way they can control people is by money.
Yeah.
That is the only way. That is so sad. And I guess that's why people are so money digged.
Yeah. And then, the big reason why a lot of women aren't really into marriage is because there's also that after marriage, what would happen if I got married to this guy and he started beating me up?
Yeah, like our previous video, like we talk about domestic violence.
Yeah.
Like if you report it to a Chinese police, they're not going to help you.
They're not going to help you.
The police is nothing. Like I'm just thinking, like, what can the Chinese people rely on then?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe one or two are corrupted. Okay, but like no one can get help from a policeman or police officer. Then who can help the citizen of Chinese people?
Yeah, it's such a big issue among women that on Douyin, there is like posts online that basically tell like people who's been abused in a relationship what you should do if you got abused.
What can they do?
What can they do, right? And then the first thing is like you make a call to the police so that you have a case. Right? But then they still like make posts for people to look back on. So, like in case you do need help, what can you do? Like, so it's not the police that's helping the citizens. It's citizens helping the citizens. Like they know that they can't even rely on their police.
You're saying they can report to hopefully a kind-hearted police and get some kind of help.
Right. Or maybe at least it's on record.
And then?
And then, I don't know. I mean, if you really gonna go to court, like it's based on your luck, right?
Well, I just actually watched the movie. It's on Netflix right now, and it's talking about domestic violence and how. So her mother was abused by her father. But then as she grew up and she witnessed it all. And when she grew up, she asked her mother, like, why didn't you ever leave my father? What she said is, leaving would have been harder than staying. And I feel like for these Chinese women, that would probably be the case. Like, you're pretty much being sold to this man's family. Like, your original family is probably really far away. And yeah, if you get a divorce, you're going to have nothing.
Yeah.
You won't have your child with you. You have to refund the money.
Yeah. Or if she was even like gone through the correct procedure in the first place.
Yeah, and then like finding work for a woman is not easy.
Yeah.
It still isn't these days. You know, there's still that imbalance. That's so sad.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys another movie. It's called Mangshan, which is like Blind Mountain. It's based on a true story, right? So it's a woman who got kidnapped and sold to this village out in the countryside, and about how her life, how she tried to escape, and her basic like life story. But it was based on a true story, you guys. So I'd say I recommend you guys to watch it, you know, so that you get a gist on what's actually happening in China right now.
So I still want to make my point is that why do we think these Chinese people are so ridiculous, like these guys? My most important point in all my videos is that the Chinese government does not represent the Chinese people.
Yeah.
And that the people are like this because they suffer from what the Chinese government has done to them.
Yeah.
And there's one thing really, really clear is one day the Chinese government can love you, can praise you, can push you to the highest point, the most popular. The next day, if they don't like you, they decide you're useless or you're a threat, they can say you're the worst person ever.
Yep. Or they just get rid of you and you disappear.
Yeah, you just disappear. So just everything we say, we're not bad-mouthing or we're not hating on our own people because we're both Chinese.
Yeah.
You know, I believe we both really treasure our culture and we love our culture and background. But it's just our background and our culture have been destroyed by the Chinese government.
Yeah. We are voicing ourselves because we see from the outsider's point of view on what the government is doing to our own people in China.
Yeah, and we share these videos because we want to be the voice or their mouth of people that cannot be heard in a government and a society where there's no freedom of press and speech. Yep, that's our video for today.
Okay, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay,
Bye.